Here's Robert in Glasgow. Go ahead, Robert.
Hi, George. It was about the Scottish independence. My first thoughts on it a few years ago would be that it wasn't good for Scotland. But when I was reading up on Alex Salmond and his history, he was the economic advisor to one of the leading banks, and I know the joke about that.
Yeah, you've just taken it right out of my mouth. I can tell you which of the leading banks it was, Robert. It was the Royal Bank of Scotland.
Right, okay.
Say no more, say no more, I would if I were you.
I also understand that at the age of 11, he was in a classroom full of 16-year-olds. So my point is, he's not that daft.
No, he's not at all. No, he's not at all daft. No. I admire Alex Salmond. I think he's a great politician, a formidable political operator. I would never say he was daft.
Surely he wouldn't go ahead and do something that was bad for Scotland. So maybe he's got a trick up his sleeve. Maybe it's corporation tax reduction, maybe it's income tax reduction, I don't know. Maybe it's the oil.
Well, that'll be marvellous, won't it? Making the most profitable companies in Scotland pay less tax. What's the gain in that?
Create employment, I mean, George.
Well, but that's a race to the bottom, isn't it? If everyone cuts their corporation tax, then the first person to zero gets the prize. But where do we find the revenue to pay for the public services like free university education, free prescription charges, free personal care for the elderly? Where do we get the money for extra police and extra that and abolishing this and abolishing that? If we're cutting tax both on the personal income of people and on the profits of big Scottish companies, I just don't. I don't get that, Robert.
Maybe Alex Salmond, being the intelligent fellow he is, George, maybe he knows something that we don't know, and maybe he knows that the oil fields would create the revenue that we need to support Scotland with a population of 5 million people.
Well, maybe he does. Well, maybe he does, Robert. Maybe he doesn't. But you're taking a bit of a risk, taking a decision that can never be undone on the basis of maybe Alex Salmond's maybe no stupid enough to make us make a wrong decision. We're going to need a bit more and better evidence than that, don't you think?
Well, I think I'd like to hear his speeches before the referendum, whenever it may be.
Oh, we will, Robert, we will, don't worry. And you'll hear me answering them here, too, God willing.